Hello, friend. I am re-releasing this minisode from my Reiki series because these teachings are deeply alive and relevant. Reiki has been part of my life for more than 30 years now. This episode is basically like opening old journals, binders, stories, lineage, memories, and wisdom that have traveled with me through decades of healing and teaching. And as I prepare for our upcoming 1st and 2nd degree Reiki certification retreat this September in Depot Bay, Oregon, I want to share this again for anyone feeling quietly called toward this work. Give yourself a breath, listen with an open heart, and take what resonates. Welcome to The Authentic Creative, where we expand our capacity to feel good one deep breath, one bold choice, and maybe a little bit of magic at a time. I'm Siri Baruch Thornton, healer, creative, and lifelong explorer of all things energy, self-expression, and joy. With over 26 years of experience in Reiki, Akashic Records, and transformational breathwork, I've learned that feeling good is not a luxury, it's a practice. And sometimes it's a little messy. This podcast is here to help you trust your intuition, break the rules, the ones that need breaking, and live more fully in your gifts. So give yourself a deep breath, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hey, friend. So today what I'm going to do is go through my Reiki binder that I've had for 2 decades now. And over the years, I've collected information from my mom and from other teachers like Libby Barnett, Karen Krieger, the whole lineage. You can listen back to the story of my lineage in the previous episodes. I'm going to go through my folder today, and I'm just going to share with you the things in my Reiki folder. So 1st degree Reiki training. Reiki, pronounced Rei-ki, is a common Japanese word which Dr. Usui used in a special way. Its literal meaning is universal life force. Rei can be translated transcendental spirit, universal power, essence, and refers also to the spiritual dimension and the soul. Ki can be translated vital life force energy which flows through all living things. Ki is known to Christians as light, to the Chinese as qi, to the Indians as prana, and to the Kuhanas as mana. It is also called bioplasma or cosmic energy. Reiki is a non-polarized, unconditional energy, agape in its pure state. It is safely used at any time and any place. We are all born with Reiki, for it is the energy of life itself. Reiki energy medicine is a healing technique which reawakens and elevates this energy, channeling it from the universe into oneself or others. Reiki is the energy of unconditional love. Because it is universal, Reiki is for everyone. All one needs is the desire to learn, an open heart, the commitment to practice, and the instruction and attunements by a Reiki master. Anyone can place their hands on another and transfer magnetic energy to them. What distinguishes Reiki from any other hands-on healing modality is the special healing attunements. So what are these attunements, these sacred attunements? Well, the meaning of Reiki cannot really be adequately told in words. The essence of Reiki is transmitted experientially through the meeting and opening to the Reiki energy in a transmission through the hands and breath called an attunement. An attunement is an ancient technique for fine-tuning the physical and etheric bodies to a higher vibratory level. During this process, we work with the chakras to enable the person to channel and vibrate higher amounts of universal life force energy, the energy of unconditional love. An attunement is a unique experience promoting balancing, transformation, harmony, positive well-being,
and a more refined, sensitive consciousness. Much like clearing the static from a radio frequency, the attunements purify the receptivity of the body and amplify one's ability to channel this healing love through the hands. The Reiki symbols, which you'll learn in second degree Reiki, if you haven't already, are transcendental in their functioning. Whereas most symbols have an effect on the subconscious mind of the user, causing a change in one's internal state, the Reiki symbols access the source of Reiki directly and signal a change in how the Reiki energy functions, independent of one's internal state. While some teach that the symbols can only be activated in specific ways, the truth is that they can be activated in many ways. They can be activated by drawing them with the hand, by visualizing them, or by saying the name either out loud or to oneself. Intention is the main ingredient in activation, and it is possible with awareness to activate them by intending to use them. In addition, others have been able to simply go internally upward and think of the energy of the symbol they want to use and gain access to it in this way without using the symbol. The value of sacredness will remain for anyone who continues to not show these sacred symbols to those who do not have the level of Reiki where those symbols are taught. From A Course in Miracles, as you let yourself be healed, you see all those around you, or who cross your mind, or whom you touch, or those that seem to have no contact with you, healed along with you. You are never healed alone. A deeper understanding of energetics. As we begin to use the Reiki treatments we have learned, that you've learned in your class or that you'll be learning in the upcoming certifications with me, it's interesting to observe the range of people we attract. Nothing ever happens by chance, so it is often helpful for us to note the issues carried by those people we treat. Often they will reflect issues that we still hold ourselves and are working on, or issues we have resolved in our own lives. This places us in the perfect position to help them with their own process as we draw from our own experience. I have often seen that people are brought together who carry very similar issues. As Michael Tamura would say, they may have what's called, quotes, matching pictures. Either they share similar experiences and so are able to empathize with each other, or they operate from a place of polarity, observing how their own behavior may be affecting another. When a person releases a long-held issue, it can begin a chain reaction within the group. Others will also release similar issues that they hold or observe the suffering their actions may have caused in others. It is as if the group has tuned into a particular frequency that represents an issue, and anyone who carries that issue in their field begins to be affected. I call this a domino effect. If this can take place within a group, then it also holds true that as we begin healing issues individually, the effect of that healing may be felt globally by everyone who holds that issue within their field. The idea that a butterfly flapping its wings can cause a tidal wave on the other side of the world follows the same principle. This is a powerful concept and one that I encourage my students to embrace. If we accept that we are all one, then any shift taking place anywhere affects us all, no matter how small that shift may be. I saw this principle take effect in the most intense way when Princess Diana and Mother Teresa died. These two incidents had a profound effect across the world, uniting East and West in their collective grief. Of course, these were significant events, but they demonstrate how interconnected we all are. Many people sensitive to energy changes have remarked that this was the final gift from these two remarkable women: to unite humanity for a moment and show the power of love and the potential of a human race that is centered in the heart chakra. We went over this in the past episode, but I'd like to go deeper. The 5 spiritual principles of Reiki. These principles were put into place by Dr. Usui, the founder of the Usui system of natural healing, shortly after he had been working with beggars on the streets of Kyoto. He had decided that he needed to give guidelines to the people he worked with in order for them to live a more fulfilled life. The guidelines constitute ways in which we can take more responsibility for our lives, and although they were written over 100 years ago, they are still relevant today. Here they are. Just for today, do not worry. This principle reminds us that we must trust in the process of life. When we worry, it is often because we have become caught in the confusion of our outer experience and have become fearful of the future. Our fear leads us to attempt to control all aspects of our lives rather than trusting in the natural abundance and security that comes from being in our natural place. When we worry, we send our fears out into the world, and when the world reflects them, the spiral of confusion gains momentum in our lives. Instead, try to relax and know that what is yours will come to you at the right time. Just for today, do not anger. When we feel anger, it is often because we have given away our power or failed in some way to express our needs. The outer world is a reflection. So if we find ourselves angry with someone, they are often only doing us a service and showing us what needs attention in our own lives. We are, in fact, angry with ourselves for failing to take the action that would have prevented the situation arising in the first place. Honor your parents, teachers, and elders. It is easy to lay the blame for all that is wrong in our lives at the door of our parents, teachers, or elders. If we are able to rise up and see life from a greater perspective, then we can realize that everyone in our lives is there for a reason. Those who give us the greatest lessons are those that love us the most. It is important to recognize that nothing happens by chance. You have chosen your parents and your life situation in order to experience the very difficulties you need to grow. Love them and honor them for being part of your experience. Earn your living honestly. Through our work, we express ourselves. When we receive payment for what we do, we learn to respect ourselves and take responsibility for our lives. It is important that we find our place in the world and express our unique gifts. Show gratitude to everything. Never take anything for granted. Instead, give thanks for every meal you eat, every day you live, every prayer that is answered. Life is so very precious, and as we learn to appreciate our own life, we will learn to appreciate all life. Holding a space for healing. When working on another person, it is important to remember that they are facilitating the healing, not the healer. It is very easy to fall into the trap of believing that as healers, it is our power and expertise that creates the shifts and transformation in others. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is true that some healers have high awareness, making them more alert to the needs of the person they are treating. This helps them to act at the right time, encouraging the recipient to let go of whatever issues they are holding. But the healer themselves cannot physically release these issues. nor can we force people to go through doors that they are not yet ready for. When we are alert to another person's situation, we are in empathy with them, we are listening. If the recipient is aware of this, they will feel supported and be more prepared to work on painful issues. Our responsibility as healers are simply to listen, open our hearts, and hold the quality of stillness as we channel Reiki. In doing this, we hold a space within which another person can transform. The Reiki will be the force that the person uses to create the necessary shift in vibration within their physical, emotional, and mental bodies. And if ready, they will then be able to release whatever they are holding. It is vital that they take responsibility for their own healing to avoid dependency on the healer. Let's take a break with a poem by Derek Walcott. Love after love, the time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you have ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. Here's a more in-depth look at how Reiki works. Groundbreaking physician Mehmet Oz, MD, cited by the New York Times as the most accomplished cardiothoracic surgeon in the country, invites hands-on healing into the operating room at Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center to work with the patient and to participate as part of the operating room team as he performs surgery. This is from, quotes, The Experiments of Dr. Oz, New York Times Magazine, July 30th, 1995. A quote from Libby Barnett and Maggie Chambers' book Reiki Energy Medicine, which was the book that drew me to my second degree and master level Reiki teacher. This book was published in 1996, the year that I graduated high school. Quotes, Reiki is a precise method of connecting universal energy with the body's innate powers of healing. This hands-on healing art, a powerful adjunct to conventional therapeutic modalities, fuels the body's homeostatic mechanisms and thereby assists in the restoration of balance on the physical, mental, and emotional levels. Because this life force energy supports optimal development and fulfillment, Reiki promotes the highest healing good for all living things. The biological intelligence that marshals the body's resources to heal a cut finger, mend a broken bone, help the lungs to breathe, or ease the transition into death is amplified by Reiki. Thus, as a healing modality, it fits perfectly into the new paradigm of health emerging in Western medicine, a paradigm that includes mind, body awareness, and prevention techniques. Another quote by Wendy S. Wetzel from Reiki Healing, A Physiologic Perspective and Implications for Nursing, thesis submitted to Sonoma State University in 1988. In a study conducted as part of her master's thesis at Sonoma State University, Wendy Wetzel, RN, found that, quotes, in subjects receiving first-degree Reiki training, there was a significant change in the oxygen-carrying capability of blood within a 24-hour period following initiation, as reflected by measurement of hemoglobin and hematocrit values, significant at the p equals 0.01 levels. The study concluded that Reiki seems a natural adjunct to nursing care. It can reduce the experience of burnout and job-related stress. Unconditional Medicine in the United States by David Eisenberg, New England Journal of Medicine, quotes, the issue, however, is not how or why alternative modalities work, but that they work. So even though Reiki is still not covered routinely by most insurance companies, in 1991, Libby Barnett was approached by Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Hampshire with a proposal to provide coverage for Reiki sessions for a 23-year-old diabetic patient with multiple hospital emergency admissions. A conference was held and attended by the patient's psychiatrist, social worker, primary care physician, and nurse practitioner. In presenting the patient's history, it was noted that Reiki helped stabilize her blood sugar levels, soothe her neuropathy, and manage the emotional aspects of her diabetes, and that she had fewer crises when she maintained regular Reiki appointments. The insurance company's decision to cover the Reiki sessions continued to help stabilize the patient's condition, reducing the number of hospital emergency admissions. So benefits of Reiki: it reduces stress, increases energy, improves sleep, enhances focus, relaxes, centers, opens blockages, opens clarity, creates inner peace, allows letting go, enhances meditation, relieves pain, speeds recovery, heals body, mind, and spirit. For many years, healers have talked about their ability to manipulate the energy fields around patients to facilitate healing. Up until now, we have been unable to prove this fact and have had to rely on our own faith in what we do. Today, however, the gas discharge visualization machine, invented by Dr. K. Korotkov in Russia, is able to produce a representation of the human energy field utilizing state-of-the-art computer, electronic, and optic technology. Kirlian photography. So in the images I'm looking at, they took photographs of a woman's energy field before and after healing. And they give a short treatment between photographs for approximately 20 minutes and observe the energy changes that take place in the field. So before healing, the images reveal that the front, left, and right sides of the energy field have strong gaps in the second, third, and fifth chakras. The left emotional side is weaker than the right, and this is reflected in the right side of her brain, with a strong weakness apparent in the field. Generally, the field looks erratic, with areas of both overactivity and underactivity. But after healing, 20 minutes later, the front, left, and right sides look very different. The gaps that previously existed have disappeared, and the overactivity has calmed down. The energy is now in balance and is a good representation of a healthy energy field. The gap in the back of the head in the view on the left side shows where the practitioner was still connected physically and demonstrates the importance of disconnecting from the patient after healing. And then in this binder are articles from Greenwich Time, Health and Fitness, Helping Hands. Can a very hands-on healing treatment help ease your pain? There's a whole article about my Reiki practice from 2002. There's a Greenwich magazine article from 2003 that I was in. There's, the rest of the articles are all stuffed away. Several articles. There was one in a Los Angeles magazine. So here's a few more quotes from some clients that I used to have about Reiki. The day after I had my Reiki treatment with Siri, I went to my doctor and he noticed my blood pressure was way down. After telling him about my Reiki experience, he suggested I get Reiki once a week. And this was Audrey Lewis, corporate executive coach and Greenwich resident. From Godfrey Bartlett, who's a writer, he said, hands-on healing has an ancient history. It has been used for thousands of years by tribal medicine people on every continent, and has been part of every religious tradition. And this is a quote by my mom, Christine Feed, Reiki master. She says, we are all feeling the effects of stress and pressure in our everyday lives. Reiki gives you the energy to return to your true sense of self instead of treating yourself as the last priority in a long list of things you have to do each day. And by David Brewster, New York City investment banker, he said, I left completely wrapped in love. Elizabeth Ort, therapist and Reiki practitioner of Spa Atlantis, said, if you want to become a healthy person, you have to touch mind, body, and soul, and Reiki does that. by Lauren Kazuk, New York fashion designer. She says, it was like little messages, like love yourself, take care of yourself, you're fine, everything is going to be okay. And by Graham Witt in Greenwich, Connecticut, he says, it's been so beneficial. I feel so clear and centered. Siri really has an amazing touch. She's very healing. When all is said and done, she has a capability to heal and to calm. And so this, imagine, will be some of what you will be hearing once you are practicing, or if you're already practicing, I imagine you've heard some of these beautiful things already. Reiki in the workplace. When the session was done, I felt a calmness and peacefulness that remained throughout the day, Suzanne Bleck from Screen Media said. Our entire office looks forward to their weekly treatment. Reiki is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I look forward to continuing to teach you and learn from you and immerse even deeper into the energy and wisdom of Reiki. Reach out to me if you have any questions about Reiki, if there's anything that we covered that you were unsure about. And I hope that this brought you inspiration and excitement to learn more and to spread more love and light in the world. Keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time.
Our upcoming 1st and 2nd degree Reiki certification retreat will be held September 27th through 30th in Depot Bay, Oregon. We will gather in an intimate oceanfront home for Reiki training, attunements, hands-on practice, evening sound baths, incredibly nourishing catered meals, ocean walks, eagle and whale watching, restoration, and meaningful connection. There are only 3 to 6 spaces available. You can find the details on my homepage at sageandblushwellness.com. And if today's conversation stirred something in you, here are a few ways we can go deeper together. So the Authentic Creative Podcast, where you are now, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss more conversations like this. And if you loved this one, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. One-on-one work for private Reiki, breathwork, Akashic sessions where we can go right into your unique medicine. You can connect with me directly. Reach out to me once again. Thank you for being here, for listening, for expanding your capacity to feel good alongside me. I'm sending you love, and I can't wait to connect again soon. Loving you.